Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Frogs Hollow TV. My name's Toby Cooper and tonight we'll bring you another jam-packed show, starting with a full review of the AORC opener at Pooncarie, a one-on-one chat with champion Dale Martin, plus words and insights from Ali Howells, Darren Mott and Russ Cullen as we look ahead to this weekend's 3 events. Before kicking off tonight, I'd like to give another huge shout out to our major Frogs Hollow TV partner for 2025, Glenn Brinkman at On the Brink Motorsport, to our amazing contributors who have supplied some incredible footage again for this episode, to our silver partners who have jumped on board, including Central Desert Transport, Mick Marson at MR Trans, Rangecon, Bryce Chapman at BC Bulk Haulage, Adam Trewhella at Borneo's Race Prep, and Craig Anderson Earthmoving. And to the rest of our amazing Frogs Hollow TV partners, we appreciate your support. It's going to be an epic season. So into our first review on tonight's episode, it is the Wentworth Shire Pooncarie Desert Dash, round 1 of the 2025 Australian Off-Road Racing Championship. And joining me to discuss all things Pooncarie is the man himself, Russ Cullen. I'd like to welcome back to Frogs Hollow TV, AORC correspondent from the West, Russ Cullen. How are you, mate?
Yeah, very good. Nice to be back on Frogs Hollow. Great to see you, Toby.
Thank you. Yourself, looking well. Another dramatic ORC opener. I mean, what a topsy-turvy Sunday. But in the end, it was Victorians Dale Martin and, of course, Adrian Rowe come through with about a 2.5-minute victory.
Yeah, it was a great way to kick off the season at Pooncarie, the AORC season, that is. And, we sort of talked about trucks breaking the cycle that the buggies have formed there at Pooncarie. But, yeah, the trucks dropped out quite dramatically on the Sunday.
We saw, obviously, Boston have a few issues. Hit a strainer post there on his third lap. It was a bit of a shame. And then Bo Robinson managed to finish down in 25th, but I think he had fuel filter issues. So it wasn't to be. Greg Garton also exited. But, yeah, weekend belonged to Dale Martin. You could just see the excitement, Russ Cullen, in his face when he did that ORC press conference post-event. To back up a title at any level of motorsport is a big thing. But against some of Australia's best there on the weekend, he come through.
Yeah, obviously Dale, the back-to-back is a great effort on his behalf, and closely followed by Danny Brown and George Apted, and of course young Travis Robertson from WA and Paul Curry.
Yep.
Bringing up the third position there, the West Aussies.
Danny Brown, he actually missed his prologue run. We won't go too much into that. So did Josh Howes. And Danny Brown started out at 12th position, potentially almost a victory.
Yeah, great run after a seeding position. And, Travis also going into third place after being seeded. I mean, we all know how fast Travis pedals a car, and he'll be one to watch out for if he does a few more races this year and irons out whatever little gremlins he may have had on the weekend.
Yeah, nice podium. And then Josh Ferguson, who was one of my sort of rough tips, come home only, I think, his second run in that new Jimco, crossed in 4th. And then Joshua Wilson, his first run in the Jimco, the young Mildura lad, it's the ex-John Hedrick's Jimco. He came home in 5th. There was only around, I think, 2 seconds between those two. So they'll be ones to keep an eye on, Russ Cullen, moving forward. Jared Percival, another guy from the West. This is an interesting stat I learnt today, Russ, that last year in 6th position was Mel Brandle, and he ran the number 2 plate. This year, Jared Percival's got the number 2 plate, and he's run 6th. So you never know. Maybe that could be a telling factor in the ORC hunt for 2025.
Yeah, it could be a good sign of things to come for Jared. Both Jared and Mel Brandle, very consistent peddlers, and it'll be interesting to see what happens when Mel rejoins the fray.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing him possibly at the Think Desert Race. Another tremendous note here, Ali Howells, Sarah Corrigan, the all-female combination, terrific outing, 7th outright. I mean, if they would have took that all weekend long. We saw Nick Commons, one of our favourites, the Westlime Brenthal, I think he started out about 17th on Saturday afternoon. So to find himself up in 8th, he said he had a lot of, apparently the dust was a big player in sort of that mid-pack. Nick Hicks and Keith Hurst rounded out the top 10. What are your thoughts?
Great effort from Nick. Obviously, Nick and Ryan knuckled down and got on with the job. Obviously, they had a bit of luck go their way in Boston dropping out, Gartner dropping out, and of course, Bo Robinson dropping out. So, but you can only race who's on the track and who's there. So, great effort from Nick.
And then Glenn Ackroyd, he was my tip for the side-by-side. Unfortunately, Toby Waitley exited with a diff failure, I believe, in the recon, which was unfortunate. But Glenn Ackroyd tipped Lachlan Bailey, the South Australian youngster, by 15 seconds in the overall after 440 kilometres of racing. So come down to the wire there in the side-by-sides.
Yeah, ding-dong battle between those two. And, yeah, you did pick Ackroyd. He's as you said, he's on a roll at the moment, and confidence couldn't be any higher. So interesting to see how Glennie Ackroyd goes at the Finke Desert Race.
Sam Bentley took the Sportslight victory. He did well. He crossed in 13th outright. We saw Tyler Owen in the Owen Funko, which has been around a long time, Russ. He took home the Super 1650 victory. Norman Hank the Parker come home with the production four-wheel drive victory.
Yeah, he got the chocolates over Pickering, which is nice to see.
Yeah, so back to Boston Morgan Horan. He was scintillating, really, to start with. His first lap on Sunday morning was just under 2 minutes quicker than Dale Martin's lap. I mean, the young Kiwi has no fear at all. He just wants to win races. And unfortunately, he did get a flat tyre before hitting the Strona post in the dust of Dale Martin. That is what I believe is what happened. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be back, Russ, and he's got to be one of the favourites for Finke. If he can get a good prologue, which he seems to be able to put together, I think he's going to be one to watch.
Yeah, mate, he was going to smash that stigma that Pooncarie is a buggy track. He turned that statement on its head. And yeah, if they make a good repair on that car, which I'm sure they will, yeah, they could do extremely well at Finke.
Tanner James run his father's Illumicraft. He was prologued in second in very impressive qualifying lap there for young Tanner. He had electrical issues as well. And also Josh Howes, we mentioned him before. So not the weekend for Josh Howes, who was after. Oh, and a shout out to Matty Hansen. I mean, Russ, you're more mechanical than me, but a broken idler pulley heading up to the start line is just it's just not meant to be.
Yeah, look, the idler pulley keeps the drive belt tied on the alternator, water pump, etc. So once you lose continuity with that part, she's all over. And to do it on the way to the start line in the chute is a tragedy for Matty Hansen.
Thanks, Russ Cullen, once again. We'll actually have you on later in the show to have a bit of a look at the Gascoyne Dash. We'll catch up with you then.
So this lady's like, big deal, trade shows like, make it this, make it that, like, don't lie, you know how it sound like. I'm in the street, so this lady's like, big deal, trade shows like, make it this, make it that, like.
Thanks again, Russ. Always great to have your insight, mate. And yeah, we'll catch up again later in the show. Now, before we go any further tonight, I was lucky enough to catch up earlier in the week with Pooncarie champion Dale Martin and Pro Light winner Ali Howes on their take from the weekend. Take a listen. It's a pleasure to welcome to Frogs Hollow TV back-to-back Pooncarie Desert Dash champion Dale Martin. How are you, mate?
Good, thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
No worries. First of all, congratulations. Tremendous achievement. It's hard enough just to win one, let alone back-to-back against a red-hot ORC field. Tell us a bit about your weekend.
Oh, it was a dream weekend. You know, for us, it's one of the closest races to Melbourne. Even though it's 8.5 hours, it's probably one of the closest. So, you know, a dream weekend. Head up the highway Thursday, and get to Pooncarie, and we had the pub there. We had a good bit of accommodation, and it was just it was a great little town and great event. So, hence why we were back. But great event, and I sort of do like a bit of nostalgia heading up that highway. We drive past Sea Lake And there's a plaque on the side of the road there. We've got a bit of a joke between the family that Craig jumps out and polishes the plaque when he goes past. So, a bit of nostalgia heading up there and heading past the old racetrack and a few yarns with the old man. And it was really enjoyable time just sort of getting up that highway with Dad and spending some good quality time together.
That's awesome. And you prologued in third position. You sat third outright after day one. You saw Boston, Morgan Horan and Bo Robinson trackside there on that second lap Sunday morning, and then you took the lead and you just never headed.
Yeah, a bit surprised on my prologue. I thought we were going to be up. I thought we did a good job, but I was expecting a bit more, I guess. I don't feel we went. I feel our prologue was fast, so I don't know where they found 10 seconds. Probably use your imagination, but to be 10 seconds down after that. But in saying that, it was 17 kilometres, so it's quite a long prologue. But look, third was good, first buggy. And we sort of maintained that for the weekend, being the first buggy. And hats off to Boston and to Bo, like to get those trucks around that prologue track quick like that, especially first race back for the year, showing everyone how it was done. It was pretty impressive.
That must have been a pretty good feeling crossing that line on Sunday lunchtime with another win.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about the terrain up there, but I do. I always did well at Griffith. Similar sort of scenario, the red dirt and the big tram tracks and Wakery. I sort of just really I know something about that feel. But Pooncarie, I think I like the desert. I like how it's so vast and open and it's fast and flowy, and the track kind of comes into its own and became a real buggy track and perfect arrangement, the perfect car, combination car and the terrain and the team, AJ and I, and it was just all fell into place. And we did see Boston there. There was no way we were going to catch him, but that's racing. He had a flat tire. We saw him changing that, and then I think in the rush he's hadn't had something happen in the dust. So that's racing. And look, we were there to capitalise on it, and I think Bo had a drama as well. Like I probably wouldn't have been able to catch them. I just guarantee it, especially in the dust. So look, that's what happens. It just sort of fell our way, and now we're on a Ford EcoBoost 3.5 litre. So similar platform to a couple of the other guys, but we just keep it pretty basic. We moved away from what was in the car when we bought it. Look, we haven't had an issue. We had a really good year last year. The motor's been out, but hasn't been apart. I think it's a really good package at the moment. So we're happy. We're time poor and busy people with families and businesses and life. I can't afford to be motor in, motor out every race. So to find a package that for us is almost at this point easy for us is what's so appealing for me. Look, the car could have done probably Rainbow and Pooncarie. It's back to back, and I think that the quality of the cars these days, you should be able to almost do that amount of racing without pulling them apart. But look, we'll park it up for a while. That was the plan for this year. We're busy. I've got a young family and we're busy with work, and we were only going to go and do Pooncarie and maybe sort of head over to the Pines at the end of the year.
Yeah.
We've been going at it for a lot of years, and that was just the plan to come and do one. So, but we'll be back at Pooncarie next year and we'll give it a red hot crack again. We enjoy going up there.
100%. And your good friend Denny Brown finished 2.5 minutes adrift to you in second spot. You'd have been pleased to get one up on him.
I was pleased to get one up on Danny. We chased him home at Millicent last year, and we didn't have anything for him that day. I think he wound it right up to make sure I didn't get him.
Yeah.
But this time I felt that we got him fair and square. The boys had no. I don't think they had any issues. We just had one up on him, and look, I've been mates with Danny since we were little kids. So to be still racing together, the same as my old man and Andy were racing together. It's great to come, and even George is a good mate of mine from school. So to be out there battling with those boys and just having fun in the desert was awesome.
Yeah, no, mate, hats off to you. It was a great performance. Anyone you'd like to thank quickly for last weekend?
Oh, just the team. We've got a great bunch of guys that help us. So I've got a mate, Richie, who's over here every Wednesday night. He doesn't come to the races all the time and he doesn't get in the car, but he's dedicated and helps me, and I couldn't do it without him. A few of the other boys as well. And look, we couldn't do what we do without Craig. He's the backbone of the team and the reason that we seem to do so well in the cars. do so well is because of Craig. He's meticulous, and Dean Williams as well. We couldn't do it without Dean, and we are very thankful for all of his advice and everything he does for us. That's another reason, the main reason that the cars are the way they are. But look, there's a whole lot of people in the background, but look, also the support of our families. We couldn't do what we do without, our wives. And when I say ours, I mean AJ and I, and our kids, to have their support and, be away racing while they're sitting at home watching on the TV, knowing that they are supporting us is a great thing. So, no, definitely want to say thank you to them.
Congratulations again on your win, and good luck to yourself and the rest of the team for 2025.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for having me. I'll be on next year at Pooncarie, so I want to see all the big boys up there. Make sure we have a big field, and we'll see how we go again.
Go for the three-peat.
Thank you. See you, mate. Good talking to you.
It's a pleasure to welcome back to Frogs Hollow TV for a second time, Ali Howells. Ali, how are you?
Good, thank you, Toby. How are you?
Good. You had a great weekend down at Pooncarie. It's a place you've become to love and get some top results. You've had 2 11th-place finishes and now a 7th. You must be stoked with the performance.
Yeah, the aim going into the weekend was to better ourselves, do better than 11th. So we definitely achieved that, which we're really happy with.
What about the conditions? A lot talked about, I was talking to Martin, he said it was dusty in places, but he was obviously a bit further up the field. How did you go with the dust and the track as it deteriorated over the weekend?
I was pretty lucky with Saturday's racing. I was really concerned about the dust and how that was going to play out. But Saturday, with lap 1, section 1, I had a really clear track. Going into Sunday morning, I got caught up towards the end of section 2, and it was pretty debilitating, the dust. It was thick. It was windy, but in the trees it was really thick and it was really difficult to see. But I didn't have that much trouble with it. Overall, I only had a little bit towards the end of section 2, and then a good clean run on section 3, so the last lap.
And the car must have just done its thing. It didn't miss a beat all weekend.
Yeah, like usual. Perfect.
Perfect.
Runs beautifully. But the track, it's almost like it completely changed again just because it's so barren up there. Like, it's so dry. The goats have absolutely destroyed everything. So it's almost like it was a new track, trying to learn it. There wasn't much, there's no vegetation around to try and memorize much. It was different, even though we have run it that way before.
And plan for the rest of the season. I know you're a busy lady at the moment. Lots going on back in Sydney, but you're looking to defend Milberdale in a couple of months' time.
We always try and get to Milberdale. That's my favourite. So it'd be nice to do that. We'll see how we go. It would be nice to do a couple more, maybe Love Day, maybe Warriolda, come up and see you. But yeah, I'd also love to do Fink, but it is just such a big logistical nightmare trying to get up there. So we'll see how we go. Of course, Josh's car's got a bit of work to be done to it as well. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, just touch on that. I know you're always been and will be a 2-car team. Wasn't Josh's best weekend away? Things just aren't falling his way at the moment, are they?
No, he hasn't got the luck. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And it's definitely not, Dad doesn't leave any stone unturned when it comes to both the cars. There's no explanation for Josh's luck. Not at all.
Your turn one day for sure. Any people you'd like to thank?
Of course, all the people that help us at home in the shed. Where do we start? I got Sean that came away on the weekend, was great. Sean Harris, Brian Wardman, my uncle Pete, Eddie for suspension. I'm probably missing people. And of course, most importantly, my dad. So without him, it doesn't happen. Yeah, a lot of credit goes to Sarah as well. She works bloody hard sitting beside me, and she never misses never misses a corner, never misses anything, and I rely on her so heavily. Yeah, since having her sit beside me, I've really leaned into having her there. You know, I don't really give her a break. She's constantly working, constantly talking, constantly reading, you know, and on the weekend she had, you know, not only navigation, she had Rally Safe in front of her as well. And you know, she's reading what the engine's doing too. So, and mirrors. So, she does such a good job. I didn't leave the track this weekend once, which is, it doesn't happen very often, but we didn't put a foot wrong on the track, and that's all credit to her.
You've both come a long way in the cab since the first weekend you raced together at Loveday a few years ago. I was there.
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
very, very nervous in the silly seat, but you've
yeah.
done a lot of great things since then. Anyway, thanks for your time. I know, what's going on back home, but congratulations again, and we'll talk to you again during the season.
Thanks, Toby. It's so good to talk to you.
All right. Thanks to both Dale and Ali, two great ambassadors for our sport of off-road racing, and it's always intriguing to get their insights from the weekend that was. Also, last Saturday was the Avalon Short Course hosted by the Geelong Off-Road Buggy Association. Just 12 competitors took to the short course track down there in Victoria, and it was David Soapy Valance in his Class 10 single-seater that took an incredible 0.83 of a second victory over Aiden the Rooster at Campanolo. We were fortunate enough to be sending a video during the week from Bree Pearl from the club. Check it out. Now into our first event preview of this episode. It is the 2025 Coral Coast Helicopters Gascoyne Dash up there in beautiful Canowindra in WA. Round 2 of the WA Championship. And to get a better insight into the event itself, I'm joined again by Russ Cullen. What are your thoughts, mate? 32 starters starts this weekend. I know you're heading up in a couple of days. You must be pumped.
Yeah, the Gas Dash, iconic race. Would have been nice to get more than 32, but didn't run last year for various reasons. So I think people are just sitting back watching what's going to happen. New format this year. They've run it before. I think they ran it about 4 or 5 years ago. They did a loop race on the town common north of town. So I think a few people are sitting back watching to see what goes on. The beauty of the loop race is logistics are a bit easier. In actual fact, one of the cool things about the Gas Dash is when you do an entry, you get a permit to drive your race car on the road, so you can basically drive to the track in your trophy truck or your buggy or whatever it may be, your side-by-side. So that's a nice little touch. And there's plenty of videos and past footage of people driving their cars through the main street of town and pulling into drive-throughs and that sort of thing. It's a pretty cool part of the event.
In the field this weekend, no 2023 champion in Troy Higgins. I know Troy Sean's been a past winner up there. He's not in the field, but some quality. Adam Trewhella obviously dominated round 1 in WA. Justin Stevens been around for a while. Brent Ranton, Ryan Print, Brad Creep. What are your thoughts? A couple of quick side-by-side competitors as well.
Oh, it's a pretty open track. I reckon Ryan Print, if he's got his car prep on point, that could be a bit of a dark horse. Adam Trewhella, he's on a stellar run at the moment in career best form. So, Brad Crepp in the big truck, big open expanses of the town common. He could really get that Armourcraft trophy truck up and humming. So that'll be an interesting car to see how that goes. The big truck on those open expanses.
And we also saw Mark Kramer on the list. Brad Cooper's there. He's been around for a long time in an element car now. He'll go all right.
Yeah, Brad Cooper's got some nice equipment, as does Mark Kramer. Brad, I think Brad, fair to say, Brad is still learning the Element Prodigy that he's recently acquired. But geez, I tell you what, after a lap and a half, Brad will be one to watch out for sure. As will Mark. Mark's got a really nice prepped SS Race Tech V8 buggy, pro buggy. So I think initially the side by sides will struggle until such time as the terrain digs up a bit and becomes a bit boggy, and then the full drive abilities of the side by side to get out of those corners a bit faster will come into play and get through the boggy sand, because it is literally on the coastal dunes of Carnarvon. So it's an adventure. You know, it's a real picturesque place to race. It's arduous, so any finisher can hold their head up high, whether they be on a bike or a quad or a race buggy or race car in the auto division.
Yeah.
In actual fact, it's such a cool race, Toby. I'd love to get you over one year just so you can experience yourself. The atmosphere on and off the track is quite amazing. So I think that's what's cut the West Australian competitors' teeth. You know, the hardcore old school gas dash has hardened up some of our races that have gone on to bigger and better things.
Quickly, got a tip, mate, for this weekend's 2025 Gascoyne Dash?
Mate, it's hard to go past Adam. He's in career best form. The car's beautifully set up. It's got enough power to be quick. I'd like to see Brad Cripp do well. He had a bit of an accident. He fell off a roof and he's making a comeback. So it'd be nice to see the Armourcraft truck do well on the weekend.
Been a pleasure, Russ. Thanks for joining us once again tonight on Frogs Hollow TV. You have a fat time up at Carnarvon this weekend and enjoy yourself. Yeah,
I'll be sure to enjoy myself and keep an ear peeled for your phone. I'll send you a few videos that you can possibly upload to the Frogs Hollow TV.
Sounds good, mate. Thanks for everything. Talk soon.
No worries, buddy. Thank you.
Sea Lake will again come alive this weekend with 56 starters heading to the iconic Victorian township for the 2025 Jackson and Poole 150, better known as Darren's Day Out. I was fortunate enough to chat with club president Darren Mott during the week to talk all things racing. I'd like to welcome on to Frogs Hollow TV for the first time Sea Lake Off-Road Club president Darren Mott. How are you, mate?
All right, Terry, and how are you?
Good. This weekend you host the annual Poole and Jackson 150, better known as Darren's Day Out, down there in beautiful Sea Lake. You've got a lot of support this weekend, mate, with I think you said around 55 entries. You must be happy with that.
Look, it's been overwhelming, the support. We started off going to have a field of about 35 or 40, and it's nearly doubled that. So, it's tremendous. We've had a tremendous response. It's really good.
I see the club's done some great work with allowing more competitors into the event. Second round of the Southern States Off-Road Challenge. It seems to be kicking some goals.
It's brought out a lot of cars, and I think probably the cost, and there is a series now, so it's certainly brought some other people out. We reckon there's probably 10, maybe 15 cars that haven't entered this event this year that were here last year.
Yeah, right.
And we're up at 55 entries. We've been up as high as 61. We've lost about 6.
Yep.
So, no, it's been exceptional. And the series is I think it's just created a hell of a lot of interest, and it'll be interesting to see how some of the other events fare moving forward. We revised our format. We're running 3 heats over the weekend, one on Saturday afternoon, and we're running and then another 2 on Sunday. We're running in class format, so Saturday will consist of classes 2, 3, 6, 7 and 8, followed by Sunday morning with classes 1 and 10, and then to finish off the weekend on Sunday afternoon, we'll have classes Ultimate and Class 4.
And the track, mate, I watched the footage from Show and Go Photography last night. Farmland terrain, it looked very wet there last year, but the conditions this year are going to be a lot drier, I believe.
It'll be the complete opposite, I reckon. It'll be very dusty, very dusty. The track's undergone a bit of a change. We lost half of it and I've had to rejig it a bit, but we've still got a 15k track, and I think it'll be pretty good. It'll sort of suit everyone. There's a bit of close tree racing in and out, and then some fast straights. So it should be pretty good.
It's a great field across all classes, Motty, including Glenn Pike, 2023 champ Brett Plant, local Chris Martin's back in a new car, Dave Middlemas, of course, Darryl Nissen, Evan Lampard and Pete Simpson, to name a few. Who do you reckon is going to be one to watch this weekend?
Look, I think there's a few. Dean McGinley, I think, is coming, and then he's got a new pro class car, ultimate car. Jay Mitchell from Hillston will be debuting in the ex-Bramble car.
Yeah, I did see that. That's good. That's exciting for him. Yeah.
So look, we've got a good array of people, cars, and it's going to be a real good weekend. I think it's going to be a class field, and anyone could have a crack at the top. I reckon there's probably 6 or 7 blokes there that, if someone stumbles, they could be right up there in it. You know, we've got a good field of Class 2 and 3 cars, which sort of some of them are the older cars they bring out. And, like in that class, you've got Dean Williams in a Class 3 and Pete Stevenson from Portland, a couple of blokes out of South Australia, Mark Taylor and Troy Purcell. So that'll be interesting. Class 6, Darren Franklin's in his new car, debuting it. Aidan Cambriolio from Geelong, and there's good people right through the whole thing. So
No, here's over fat time down there, Motty. Thanks again for joining me on Frogs Hollow TV.
No worries.
Always a pleasure, and all the best to yourself on track and to the club this weekend.
No, thank you, Toby. No, much appreciated, and hopefully we'll have a really good weekend, and maybe talk to you later on about how the weekend went and who's done well.
Definitely. All the best, mate, and I'll talk soon.
Right.
Also this weekend is the Northern Territory Titles Memorial Round 1 event hosted by the Alice Springs Off-Road Club. Just 8 entries on Tuesday afternoon, including Mad March Victor Tim Weir, his brother Lachlan Weir in the Jimco 2000 series, Shane Greening, David Bird, Dylan McDonnell will also be others to watch over the 240 kilometres of action. We'll bring you a full wrap of that up in our next episode. Just a thought also with the Socorro Club, who had to cancel the St George 399 from this weekend due to the big wet in central Queensland. So that's a bit unfortunate news there. And after the Easter break, we'll bring you a full preview of the Kempsey 300 with Dave Chandler. Also a note to congratulate Toby Price and Paul Wheel from their 4th placing at the San Felipe 250 on the weekend in Mexico. And also a shout out to the Monte Salvo brothers and twins, the family team there that went over to America. I think they finished 26th or 27th outright, 10th in class. So congratulations. So that's a wrap on tonight's show. Another huge weekend in Australian off-road racing awaits with 3 great events taking place in 3 different states. Good luck to all those competing, and more importantly, stay tuned on the next episode of Frogs Hollow TV. Cheerio.